If America, as Martin Luther King Jr. said at Lincoln University, is essentially a dream, connecting him to Langston Hughes before him, a new book that interrogates the linkage between Langston Hughes and King, shows it was a subversive metaphor. It was not merely thinking about what America could be, it was inserting the black and brown presence in the midst of a culture that had whitewashed the American memory of its black and brown presence. When you think about the great figures from Emerson to Thoreau, who helped us reimagine what America is, when you think about all of the great figures who have emerged, when you think about Susan B. Anthony, America is essentially a dream, a projection of possibility, the articulation of an ideal that has been tethered to the ongoing experiment of progressive realization of freedom in the context of human history here in America. And so when we think about democracy, when we think about the opportunity of the most people to be able to maximize their potential to enjoy the incredible fruits of our society, we think about the fact that we had greater ideals than practices. T.S. Eliot said, between the ideal and the reality falls the shadow. And here we are wrestling with the profound, in some cases, ominous shadow that stretches across the horizon in a very serious way. The work of Professor Leonard Moore has brilliantly helped us understand the lengthening of that shadow poetically and structurally and historically against the horizon of American life. The brilliant interrogation that he has made. And so democracy helps us understand the measure of our goals and aspirations, but those goals and aspirations must be measured against the actually existing practices politically and socially that embody those ideas. In other words, you got the ideal, you got the reality, and in between that, the shadow. The shadow literally stretched itself across American history. We talked about Professor Jones in her book, The Myth of Race from Colonial Times down to Obama. We see that the literal presence of dark people made America what it is. Orlando Patterson said in his book, Freedom, that we can't even conceive of what America is in terms of its freedom without the contrapuntal existence of non-freedom in an enchained and enslaved people. America can't even understand freedom without the dark people to which it denied that freedom. Now, I know America don't like to talk about this. We live in what Gore Vidal called the United States of amnesia. And I think Barbra Streisand supplies that theme song. What's too painful to remember, we simply choose to forget. Those are some deep lyrics off of Memories. And so we live in a United States of amnesia because we are addicted to forgetfulness. We are addicted to forgetfulness because it is too painful for us to remember what happened. And young people talk about back in the day, they talk about 10 years ago. I mean, I saw the great philosopher Sean Combs say that, yeah, back in the day, back when I was a kid, back in 1989. Wow, is that really the litmus test of being back in the day? Because we are addicted to forgetfulness because the pain is too deep. America loves history when it's the 5th book this year about Thomas Jefferson, the 12th book this month about Abraham Lincoln. Addicted to history when it narrates, underscores, and spotlights the drama and the pageantry of the evolution of European consciousness in the context of an American womb. But when it comes to women's history, when it comes to gay, lesbian, transgender, bisexual, queer history, when it comes to black history or Latino history, it's a problem. Shut up, be quiet, enough already. Do we have to do that again? Stop being politically correct. We want to be correct on everything except politics. Right? You know, why don't you get your check from University of Texas and let it be off? And then somebody says, why are you trying to be mathematically correct? Why do you want to be financially correct? It do make a difference, don't it? Right? So here it is. Now I understand political correctness, which was argued as a matter of fact, by the left first. Before Donald Trump et al. got hold of, I'm convinced he has no idea in hell what political correctness is. Political correctness among a certain set of privileged, unconscious white men means I no longer have the possibility of being a bigot without apology. I meant to say that later, but it just slipped in early. I meant to tell a few more jokes to warm you up. That's what they call in literary art foreshadowing. I shall return to Mr. Trump, and I shall try to beat his ass as calmly. And so, America is addicted to history when the history seems to favor the victors. And the victors are determined by those who get a chance to write the history, to construct the historical narrative, and profoundly revisionist from the start. We usually claim that those who come along afterward to see again, to see afresh, to cast new light upon the historical horizon, that they are somehow engaging in invidious revisionism. The revision was from the start. The poor vision, the optic nerve of race had been distorted, and the possibility of seeing through gender or class or even sexual orientation was already distorted. From the very beginning, these people made significant and serious contributions to what it means to be an American. But if we have not challenged white privilege, I'm going to use that term. Look, I know it's popular out here now, and I'm not insulting individual white brothers and sisters. This ain't no individual assault. This is a collective process of amnesia collectively. And white privilege is not simply about, many white brothers and sisters say, hey, I don't have white privilege. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I have to pay as much as you do at UT Austin. I'm a Longhorn like you are, suffering. Or I don't get the advantage of affirmative action and the like. The greatest mark of white privilege in America today is the ability to be stopped by a police person on the street and not get murdered.